I'm continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit later as I move along. You may note right now I am in the basement. Lovely decor. It looked like cement, but it's actually foam. Anyways, let us read. I'm in Numbers still. This is chapter 19. Directions given for sacrifice of red heifer. Water of separation used for purification from sin. Ceremonially unclean persons sprinkled with water of separation. Okay. Before I read, though, you may hear these sounds in the background. Since I'm in the basement, I've got the washing machine going and the dryer. So I do apologize for the ambiance in this video. Here we go. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, This is the ordinance of the law which the Lord hath commanded, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring thee a red heifer without spot, wherein is no blemish, and upon which never came yoke. And ye shall give her unto Eleazar the priest, that he may bring her forth without the camp, and one shall slay her before his face. And Eleazar the priest shall take of her blood with his finger, and sprinkle of her blood directly before the tabernacle of the congregation 7 times. And one shall burn the heifer in his sight. Her skin and her flesh and her blood with her dung shall he burn. And the priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet, and cast it into the midst of the burning of the heifer. Then the priest shall wash his clothes, and he shall bathe his flesh in water. And afterward he shall come into the camp, and the priest shall be unclean until the even. And he that burneth her shall wash his clothes in water, and bathe his flesh in water, and shall be unclean until the even. And a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and lay them up without the camp in a clean place. And it shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for a water of separation. It is a purification for sin. And he that gathereth the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. And it shall be unto the children of Israel, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among them, for a statute forever. Now this is a very interesting one. And we get a little bit more information in a minute, but a red heifer without blemish. This is a heifer is a female cow this time. But no, upon whom yoke has never been placed, has done no manual labor. Without spot, without blemish, and having done no labor. You have to kill it outside the camp. The priest doesn't kill it. The priest takes it down there. Somebody else kills it. And then the priest burns the body. All of it. Everything is burnt. But it is burnt after you light it on fire. While it is burning, you have to toss in these things, the cedar, hyssop, and scarlet. So this is a very detailed procedure here. Now, once this is all done, the priest has to wash himself, and he is considered unclean until the sun goes down. The guy that killed it is also unclean, and he has to wash himself until he's unclean until the sun goes down. A third person has to be involved, because a third person gathers up all the ashes. That person has to be ceremonially clean at the time that he gathers it up, so it can't be the priest and it can't be the one who killed him, because both of them are unclean because of the whole ritual. So he gathers up the ashes and he puts them in a place outside the camp, in a clean place outside the camp. And it says a water of separation. So I'm assuming from that the ashes are gathered up and put in water. So this is what we got here. Very interesting stuff. Now, verse 11. He that toucheth the dead body of any man shall be unclean 7 days. He shall purify himself with it on the 3rd day, And on the seventh day he shall be clean. But if he purify not himself the third day, then the seventh day he shall not be clean. Whosoever toucheth the dead body of any man that is dead, and purifieth him not himself, defileth the tabernacle of the Lord. And that soul shall be cut off from Israel, because the water of separation was not sprinkled upon him. He shall be unclean, his uncleanness is yet upon him. This is the law. When a man dieth in a tent, all that come into the tent, and all that is in the tent, shall be unclean 7 days. And every open vessel, which hath no covering bound upon it, is unclean. And whosoever toucheth one that is slain with a sword in the open fields, or a dead body, or a bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. And for an unclean person, they shall take of the ashes of the burnt heifer of purification for sin, and running water shall be put thereto to a vessel. And a clean person shall take hyssop, and dip it in the water, and sprinkle it upon the tent, and upon all the vessels, and upon the persons that were there, and upon him that touched a bone, or one slain, or one dead, or a grave. And the clean person shall sprinkle upon the unclean on the third day. And on the seventh day he shall purify himself, and wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and shall be clean at even. But the man that shall be unclean, and shall not purify himself, that soul shall be cut off from among the congregation, because he hath defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. The water of separation hath not been sprinkled upon him, he is unclean. And it shall be a perpetual statute unto them, that he that sprinkleth the water of separation shall wash his clothes, and he that toucheth the water of separation shall be unclean until even. And whatsoever the unclean person toucheth shall be unclean, and the soul that toucheth it shall be unclean until even. So the water of separation, so you get all these ashes gathered up into a bucket, and then if somebody touches a dead body, any part of a dead body, even the grave where a body is buried, they are unclean for 7 days. On the third day and on the seventh day, they go out to where these ashes are, they take some water, they mingle some ashes into the water. Well, somebody else, they can't do it because they're unclean. So somebody takes the ashes, puts it in the water, and this doesn't require a priest. At least it doesn't indicate that it requires a Levite, probably. But they get it all together. They sprinkle the water on the person that was unclean on the third day, and then again on the seventh day. And if you don't do this, you remain unclean. Not only do you remain unclean, but you're cut off from the people. That's a type of excommunication here. The ceremonial cleanliness is very important because it is a symbol of the purity of Christ and the symbol of our sins being washed away. We can't approach to God without first seeking cleanliness through Christ. We must purify ourselves through Christ before we can approach to God, just as ancient Israel had to purify themselves in the water of separation before they could approach to the tabernacle. Anyways, I will see you in the next one.